It's nicely done. And red, of course, is
Yes.
offside, but if he has a look to see where it is, if it happens to be wired from black, we just leave it there.
Mm.
It's a
Oh,
nice block.
is that a block?
I think so. Mm.
Yes.
That's swung off a bit there.
Mm.
Now we'll see where red is. Yeah, in the
So
penalty
our score
position
now
over
is
there. Mm,
so our score now is 5 to Helen and 6 to Gary.
yeah, 5-6 now. And because Gary went past the halfway mark between hoops 11 and 12, and he didn't hit another ball from the opponent, he was sent offside, which is a bit further away on either side of the court. So Helen sent red over there. Now she's got to decide what she's going to do with this black. Is there a chance to run the hoop? Is she going to hit the yellow?
Oh, good.
Cleared yellow nicely,
Mm.
and black is still sticking around. Yellow will come back. And Helen's in the same position as Darren was last time. She needs this hoop and the next hoop. At the moment, it looks like red can't run the hoop because yellow's in the way. But if Helen was to hit yellow, then it could. So she might just try
Mm.
to hide in front of the hoop, but hopefully leaving room for black to still fire at yellow. If Gary tries to promote yellow, black will hit it.
Okay.
So she didn't manage to hide.
Mm-hmm.
And if she thinks yellow can run, she has to hit it. That's
Nice
a
shot.
lovely shot.
Mm.
Helen holds her hands well apart when she's firing.
Mm. She's not out of it yet.
No,
She could
no,
still
not at all.
test this hoop, yes. Mm.
There's a little bit of a
I think black can
bend
take
there.
yellow. Mm. Mm.
So red is definitely a danger because yellow can clear blue, so there'll be nothing left to clear red. So either now black clears yellow or black clears red.
Clearing yellow, I think,
Mm-hmm.
which she does. Mm.
Oh, almost an in off. Yeah, very reliable on the clearances. And well, so is Gary. It's good to see. I don't think he can see the blue. Might be an opportunity to place yellow wide from black.
Ah, yes.
Just let blue take red.
I think that's what he's thinking. The walk up and the decision.
Mm. The scores are quite tight now. He can't afford
Mm.
to do anything extravagant, but certainly yellow wide from black is quite a good option. No, we're going to go for the clearance.
Red, blue takes out red. Hopefully stays near the
Yes,
hoop.
stays near the hoop.
Yeah.
Okay,
Had some
in a
lovely
good
shots
running
like that,
position.
Helen, hasn't she? Mm.
Yes, yes. And they are quite effortless. Very accurate. No nicks. She hits dead centre. So when Gary changed his mind on that and decided that he would take blue, I think that was a pretty telling sort of a shot, and it didn't work for him. So this one is much more difficult.
And yet,
And he's done it well. That's a very
yes.
So blue comes back. Okay, yellow comes back.
Black's still a runner.
Yes. Strange curve on that one.
We have some more scores that have come in on Croquet Scores, and at this point in time, Richard Hinkst has won all 4 of his games.
Oh, that's a good record. I don't know what Red could see there. They seem to be all clustered together, but it didn't hit anything. All right. Oh. That was it looked like it was going to be a nice easy hoop for her, but it's a little bit of a rejection, and now we have another jump opportunity for Gary.
Yes.
He did. And I was waiting to see what happened then because I couldn't tell if he'd done it, but that was a good game for those two. Yeah.
We've been privileged to watch that wonderful game between Lester and Darren, and now this game where Helen just kept fighting back. Wonderful.
Yes, and against the current Australian number 2, I think. I'm thinking that Gary is Australian number 2. So that was a great performance from Helen, and really good game to watch. But they're both so incredibly consistent with their clearances, I think. There's a couple of rejections on hoops, but the clearances were really quite amazing. They both hit them dead centre and cleared the maximum distance possible. Very good, admirable. I'd like to be able to do that. And now we have a whole lot of empty courts. Everybody must have gone in for a late lunch.
We're about to see a replay, we hope.
Yes, that would be good to see the last jump again. Nope.
Oh, this is good. Slow motion. Yes.
Yeah,
Lovely.
just the right height that time. Last time he jumped clean over the hoop, didn't he? And that was just the right
Mm.
height, carefully measured, and a lovely way to finish the match. And yeah, the birds have all moved back in now. No more annoying croquet players' balls in the way. So
Yeah.
there we are. We've just got the empty courts again. I wonder which matches will be coming up. And I'll just have another look at the scores here. So Gary's now 4 wins. Darren's
And
on
Richard.
3 wins.
Mm.
And Richard's on 4 wins. Julie Beasley's only had 1. Helen's got 2. John Vandertown, none written down yet. And Richard Parks 1. And looks like Lester didn't have a great start. He lost 1-7 to Richard. But there's 6 is usually a fairly common number, but we've only got 2. Lots of 7-5 wins so far. And a good range of players, lots of skill levels, lots of different ranking positions. So yeah, it's a good event for some players to try out their skills against some of the top players. So it's been very good to watch. I'd like to see Julie Beasley do well. She's been improving all the time, and she's had a couple of close ones there. She's lost to Owen Dickinson 5-7 and lost to Richard 5-7. So that's a pretty good performance from Julie.
And Helen too. Helen losing 5-7 to Gary. That was and made him battle for his hoop.
Yes.
Now, I think
We're going to Gary playing Richard Hinst. So both of them
both
unbeaten.
unbeaten. I suppose we just need to allow Gary some time to regroup.
He probably hasn't had any lunch. It's just the thing when you're playing golf croquet, you're out there the whole time. When you play association, you sit down if your opponent's in play, but in golf, you've just got to stay there. So the scores I think might need updating there. We've got Gary Phipps written down as 3 wins, but he's on 4 now, isn't he?
Players are starting to move out onto the court soon, so we'll have some more action not too distant future.
There's Leicester going on to court 1 by the look of it. Are they using the outside court, Serena? I haven't seen anything happening out there, but we're 15 players. So, yeah.
Provided the flock of pigeons is not on there, yes.
And yeah, we've been asked if we'd like to see another shot of Gary's mallet, and yes, we would like to see that because it is quite unusual to have somebody with a mallet with a bent handle. You get all sorts of different materials that mallets are made from, but they nearly always just have a straight handle. There it is, it's a Z. And another player from WA who had a handle like that is Ian Dumerg. And Ian's a great association croquet player, and he used to use a handle like that and would take the handle off the head and put a rubber stopper on it and use it as a walking stick so that he could take it on the plane coming over from WA. It was interesting because Ian's a fairly young man. He would stand there leaning on a walking stick and nobody would question him.
So who does those modifications to the handle? Who would do those modifications?
No, I think
Right.
they do their own, Serena. Ian made
Hmm.
his own, and Gary, I think, would have made his own as well. But it
You'd have to have a bit of. Mm.
eases the stress on the
Ah.
wrist. A lot of the Egyptian players played with a very wristy action, and the young men often have trouble with
Hmm.
wrist injuries. So now we've got
Oh,
Gary back on with Richard, and first ball's on. My screen's a little bit fuzzy at the moment. I can't tell quite what's happening there. Oh, it's two birds. I was looking at that thinking there's balls moving everywhere, but it's two birds.
well, as I said, we'll have to name them soon.
So I can see the blue ball on and red
Hmm.
in reasonable hoop position, I think. And then black now, Richard looking to clear that red, I think. No, just coming into position. At the moment, the cameras are operating from the balcony of the Victorian Croquet Centre, and we can see the mobile camera being carried around to give us some really good close-up shots at ground level. So that's
It's a wonderful thing
reasonable
about.
attempt.
Mm. It's the wonderful thing about the Victorian Croquet Centre that we've got this balcony that allows these sort of almost overhead shots, isn't it? View of what's going on. Oh, good shot.
It's going to be very good for them at Robertson Shield. It's a great advantage
Hmm.
to not have to have a tower sitting up for it. So good clearance of that blue,
Hmm.
and so the answer is we'll just pop black in instead, but it has left the way open for yellow, either to run the hoop or to clear black. Beautiful hoop.
Mm.
Richard doesn't waste any time at all planning and executing his shot, does he? He was there quickly and did the shot, and it's all over.
Gary heading up. Richard heading up to hoop 2.
Just checking where the ball went out so that he can
Hmm.
replace it accurately. Long shot from corner 4 to in front of hoop 2. We'll see how he goes measuring that. A little bit of a curl on the court visually to the right of his hoop, but stayed pretty well on line because he's not up in the bendy bit yet. Red coming up with Gary.
Just a bit too
Passed.
far. Never mind. We'll see where black ends up.
I think it's travelling.
Mm.
Just a bit too far. Well, blue's the only one on the playing side at the moment. Yellow's a long way back, but he's got an opportunity to take good position without a real threat from those balls at the back. He's going for the hoop. And why wouldn't you? If you see the hoop, you go for it, don't you?
I would think Richard will be doing that now as well.
Yeah, I can't tell what he's aiming at from that angle. I'd say so. Another little miss.
So red will take black, do you think, or red will take blue?
he's making up his mind. I don't know if he could see blue. He might be looking at coming through the back of the hoop. Because black's going to shift yellow if he doesn't shift black, so he needs to have an alternative ball there. He's taken blue. Yep. Well, black's in a good position to clear yellow and then stay put too. And Gary will be well aware of that.
Lovely.
Perfect. I've never seen Richard play before, Serena. Do you know anything about him?
Only that we've been charting his rapid rise to the top. He's played in the regionals and yes.
Well, it's good to see him competing in this. The more play you get against the top players, the better you get. And he's at a club where Leicester is, so he'd have somebody to train with perhaps.
It's always the danger there that you can actually impede your own backswing, isn't it? If you're not careful.
Yes, I don't know whether he was trying to protect black from red or whether he was trying to protect the hoop from red.
Hoop. Oh.
That was a good clearance, almost an in-off. Unfortunately, both his balls are now behind the hoop, with Richard with both in the front with something to hide behind. So not sure that it's going to be great. There's a replay of the shot on black and close to an in-off. So yellow looking to disturb blue.
Which he does.
We did disturb it. I don't know, is it perhaps now behind black?
And of course his own ball is well up the court. Or down the court.
Well, Richard's not bothered by black being there, he's just running the hoop beautifully. And blue doesn't have to be marked back in until red's played. And red's off in front of hoop 3, but a little bit short. So we're one each. They play quickly, these two, don't they?
They do. It does make for entertaining croquet, though, for the viewer.
He's deciding whether he has to hit the red or whether he's got a better chance with blue, but really he doesn't have to hit it, does he? Because it's not a hoop runner, but he's got to make it so that it's not too easy for it to hit him. Nice and deep, definitely threatening for running the hoop. Oh, that was almost a perfect shot. Didn't quite get in front of the hoop to block black.
So the blue ball will just come into a position shot, you think, in front of the hoop and force Gary to make some decisions?
I think he might try to get in between red and black.
And black.
it is in running position. So Gary has got to decide if he thinks black can run or if he thinks that it'd be better to shift blue. I think that black's the target, but unfortunately missed that. You might be feeling a little bit more pressure against Richard because that one was similar to the appearances he did constantly in the last game. It's a miss. Interesting, the distance at which the players will walk up to the ball intending to run the hoop. There's no jockeying for close position. They simply run it from wherever it is, and it might be 3 or 4 yards out, but they'll still trust themselves that they'll run the hoop. Having a
second
here.
thought.
Yes, it looked like he was attempting the hoop. Red and yellow are not around, so it's worth a go.
Oh,
we're near it.
Yes.
That's a surprise. No, not the little wobble of the hoop. I believe that we're having a change of commentators shortly, Serena, and I'll be leaving, and Greg Berry is coming on. You there, Greg? No, not yet. He's just having a sound check.
Did we just see Richard take some clips off the hoop? No, there weren't any because we're only up to 3. No, he was just checking the hoop, wasn't he?
Yes, he just gave it a little wiggle.
Oh, red still has a path.
Position, but, it's a path to the hoop for red and a clearance as well.
I can see his dilemma because we have Gary has his two balls in front, doesn't he? Whatever he does. Yeah.
Yes. These little close battles can be quite intriguing because a little bits of luck come into it, little tiny shots. So I think they're calling the ref because the two balls are quite close together. I'm going to leave you here with Kate coming on and Greg, and I'll just check that they are there. Greg, can you hear me now?
Yes, hello. How are you?
Hello, Greg. I'll just leave you and Kate, I think Serena's retiring for a while too, at this interesting point in the game where they've got themselves all tangled up around hoop 3. So it's quite tactically interesting, and you might like to explain that and discuss it with Kate. But for now, I'll be leaving you. And lovely to watch such good croquet, and thank you, Serena. Bye.
Well, all I
And
can
thanks,
say is that
Trish.
I've been privileged to watch some very good games, the last two games previous to this one as well. So enjoy the rest of the afternoon, Kate and Gret.
Thank you very much. We're watching two of the top players here. They've both been undefeated to this point. So one of them will no longer be undefeated at the end of this game. 1-1. So that was a very interesting shot with the two balls so close to each other, wasn't it, Greg? You think, I wonder whether Richard has played any association croquet and got ideas from that about how you might handle a two-ball shot.
Yes, quite possibly. A bit of patience around the hoop is always a good thing. And just, you can't make it unless you're in front. And his tactical side of it is one of the most interesting parts of the game.
So yellow's going to try for the hoop. Black, presumably, if it hits red. Well, it can't hit. It will try and hit red to hit on yellow, won't it? Is that what it'll do? Or can it pick out yellow?
Yes, he'll certainly be looking at the bombard. That's a bigger target for him than hitting the side of yellow. Unfortunately,
but he
he's
missed completely.
missed that one. Yes,
I
probably
think that
trying
was
to
a
hit
miss
it a bit
hit.
firmly. It gives yellow
So now
an
we've got
opportunity
quite
to have a...
Yeah. Quite a delicate shot. Probably should be watched. I don't see the referee, but the mallet is very close to the red ball. But
that's
perfect.
beautifully played. And he's come down towards the next hoop, so he's got an advantage. And just unlucky not to make two hoops in one shot. He would have been delighted with that.
He's trapped his red ball perhaps a bit behind the hoop.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. Blue's taken a nice position. It may even be a bit wide from the yellow ball, so you might be able to have a free shot when it's next to play.
Oh, not where I meant that to go, says Gary. Straight into the hoop. And black is coming from a very long way away.
It's not easy to position in front of a hoop from that distance. So hopefully Gary's got a bit of a shot here on the blue ball.
Yes, I wonder if we can see that. We pull
If
the
not, he
camera
might be
around so we can
blocking
see the blue ball as well. No, he's definitely gone for it.
Shot.
And he hit it. But he is away as well as blue.
It's an opportunity for Richard now to take control of the hoop now that he's got the two balls around. Gary's going to have to hit another stroke to get back into this point.
Oh!
Yeah, I'd be happy with that, Kate. Not a bad spot, but obviously black will be able to get rid of it now. But it just gets rid of one ball away, so yellow can then come back and get rid of the blue.
Yellow's a bit of a distance off. Oh.
He's going for the hoop. And it's a bit unlucky. It just shows you how aggressive these two players are. And the reason why they've won all their games and done so well is this attitude to have a crack. And this is, a high standard that they're producing for us. A lovely
and
stroke.
Through he goes.
So the score now 2-2, going to the 5th hoop. An angly
Coming
hoop
down the middle.
for red to make. Because it's just on a bit of an angle, he may opt to block, or it looks like he's shaping up to get rid of it from away from the hoop. Always an advantage to stay near the hoop with black if possible.
Which you forego if you do a total miss.
So Gary now in control of hoop 5 with 2 balls in a hoop running position. Richard needing to make a choice of whether to fire if he may be open to the hoop. Red ball next to play.
So I think that was another mishit, really. Oh, he's saying there's ground damage. Outside the court, so not actually lawn damage per se, but... Oh!
Gary trying to put the ball in the jaws and get an advantage. It's always an advantage at hoop 5 if you can run up towards hoop 6 in your next turn. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked for him this time, but tactically it was the right decision. So Gary's got a few choices here. He could actually put your red into the jaws. He's taking a nice position with yellow. And possibly blocking.
Nice position. He's blocking blue, you think?
Yes, we'll find out.
Red's was very secure there.
So it must be in a good hoop running position, otherwise he would have called for the referee. So red makes its way up to its next hoop at number 6. And it's a nice distance to take control with black next to play. Possibly looking at blocking red running the hoop and then hitting the red with his blue ball.
Or alternatively knocking red into a better hoop running position and moving into a non-hoop running position himself. That must have been both of those things, not quite what was desired. Oh.
Gary looking quite confident here and having a crack at the hoop. We would have noticed that Richard had a look at the yellow ball, obviously to make sure that he couldn't hit through. Yellow's just playing to the side just in case it's not a hoop runner.
Which it seems as if it's not.
No.
There's a complicated little series of blocks and attacks. Well,
Nicely done, Gary.
reckon Gary will go the hoop. And Gary is 3-2 up.
Yes, he's not hesitating, and this is what's one of his strengths, is making them from this distance.
Well, so is that too close to be a jump, do you think? Is that black?
No, I think black will have a crack at it. So blue to play next. So we want to try and either protect black from being hidden away, or even red could hit yellow. So he just wants to get in the mix at this stage. So Gary might have a bit of a double. If he wants to hit the black away so it can't jump, he may hit the yellow through the hoop. We'll just see what sort of target he might have. He's had a crack. And nicely done.
Well, that was brave. That was really square, wasn't it? It could so easily have knocked it away rather than through.
And this is the type of play that we would expect from Gary, being the current Australian and men's singles champion. This is what's got him there, is this style of play and the ability to do it. Just beautifully done.
Very nice.
As mentioned before, these two players haven't been playing that long, but they have achieved so much in such a short period of time, due to the way that they attack the game. As mentioned, Richard from Williamstown there in Victoria, VCA Selectors Invitation and the Australian Day. He's had a pretty good run. So it's just great to see these guys having the opportunity to play each other in these types of events.
Yes, it is, and particularly because Gary being from Western Australia, they won't have played each other all that often over the time. So that was a nice shot. Well done, Gary. Richard, he's fearless, Richard. Isn't he?
Yes, Gary also recently represented Western Australia in the Interstate Shield that was contested in Adelaide. Performed extremely well. Obviously, the number one player currently in Western Australia, and there's a host of strong opposition there. So he's done well to get that ranking. But not only does he, play well on the croquet lawn, he does a lot off the croquet lawn. The Western Australian website is just filled with information and resources for anybody wanting to learn more about the game, or see some videos so he's done a lot of work for croquet in general, just to on and off the court. He's a true ambassador for the game.
Tricia and Serena were talking just before about people becoming quite enmeshed in croquet. They take it up and they bring their friends, their family, everyone gets involved. They're all hooked once they get started. And that kind of involvement is, of course, very valuable to developing the sport.
It's not hard to get addicted. And I mean, I started at the age of at 11 and been playing since I was 11. And it's a game that caters for everybody. So regardless of your age and where you're from, it's just a lovely experience to go out there and have a hit and meet new friends and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I think there's a community in all the different versions as well, isn't there? Because if you play socially at a club, there's a group you belong to, you go along, you might have morning tea together and a cup of tea, slice of cake. People bring, my club, somebody used to bring most beautiful passion fruit sponges. So at that local level, for people who are just looking for someone to talk to, do something in the open air, all that sort of thing, that's available. But then
Yes,
when you
well,
get to this level, there's a camaraderie in the clubhouse between the players at the higher level, because they all know each other and they've played each other over the years.
yes, we're very